Alright, so I changed up some equipment and some tactics, and now I guess
Who are
I'm ready
you?
to talk to this sketchy
You don't look
bastard.
like any guardsman I ever saw, and that's not much of a uniform. Oh, you looking for a chance to bring in some coin? Could be I have that opportunity. Especially for someone with a few connections above ground. Human kings, you know, they make these ridiculous laws. Like about who gets to buy and sell lyrium, the sacred gift the stone provides us to show her love.
Boy.
No law should regulate that. The laws are meant to keep mages away from the stuff, so there's always buyers in the Circle Tower. I got one man named Godwin. He's expecting a delivery of his stone's weight. You want an investment opportunity? I could see fit to, say, sell you that lyrium instead, at the reasonable price of 50 sovereigns. You can keep it, or, since you can travel freely from here, sell it to Godwin, who you know is buying. And if you bring back his return order, I could pay you, say, 20 sovereigns as a finder's fee. More so for someone like you, I guess. Most dwarves born down here have a natural immunity. Other races, there are problems if they spend too long with the ore. The real issue is that lyrium's valuable. It's only found down here, and human mages can't work without it. Long as you keep your eyes down and your mouth shut, we've got no further business.
Huh. Missed opportunity because I'm broke, huh? Well. I'm not allowed to just kill him and take it? It's not like anyone would say anything down here in Dust Town. Seriously. Well. Oh well. Now that I've gone down, I guess the only way to go is up. At least until they let me into the deep roads. Nope. Meh. Commoners aren't useful.
Excuse me, do you have a moment?
Seriously? Alright.
You look like you're not from around here.
What was your first clue?
Oh, wonderful! I've been trying forever to find someone who really knows the surface world. I don't suppose you've heard of something called the Circle? I've been trying to reach someone there for years. I've sent missives with every caravan, but I never get a reply. I want to know if they would accept me for study. I don't want to do magic. No dwarf can cast spells, but I don't see why I shouldn't study it. It would be a valuable exchange. Orzammar would learn of one of the great natural forces of the surface. And the Circle gains direct access to our knowledge of lyrium smithing. What do you mean? Oh, you're looking for payment. My father's shop refines lyrium for smithing. If you help me, I'm sure I could get you some. That would be wonderful. My name is Dagna, daughter of Janar of the Smithcast. Tell them I've already begun reading the Tevinter Imperiums for Tikum Kadab, and it's just fascinating. Did you know the Imperial Magister Lords once had genealogies of every human family known to produce a mage child?
She's so enthusiastic and adorable. I'm glad
Kaylin
we're
would
having her.
actually kind of like her, but I'm
I'll
not
go pack
playing
my bags
Kaylin
right
in
now.
this
I'll
game.
be waiting by my
At
father's
least
shop.
not right now. Actually, they're also both gingers. Anyway. Wrong game, wrong character.
Greetings, and welcome to Garen Garrison's luxury goods shop. Wow, there are a lot of you. And I've never seen one of those before. The things they come up with.
One
What
of
was I saying?
those. Oh.
Right. Yeah, I have some lovely things here. Lyrium. Enhanced, of course.
Uh-huh. It sounds like you've been hitting the lyrium a little hard. Oh. It's not like I can afford anything, but it didn't hurt to look. She told me that story, didn't she? Well, I want that, but I need more money first. He's not strong enough to wear his brother's armor yet, but it'll happen. I don't want to deal with it. Alright, I have to ask, what the hell was a nug?
I knew I should have stuck to common nugs. I've gone and lost them too. I'll never find them the way they skitter.
Common nugs. I don't like those. They look dirty.
No way I'm going back to that supplier in Dust Town. Guess I'm shutting it down. Gotta boil them before roasting, but otherwise no, safe as sand. Some people swear they make good pets. May as well leash a turnip, I say. Good on you, stranger. Only need one to turn this around.
That squeaky noise. Look, a nug.
Go on, I'm out of the nug game. Got nothing to sell. Saraka, I'm back in the game, such as it is. I don't have much besides gratitude, but find a bunch more of these and I'll toss you whatever I found.
I'll take getting paid for finding your weird little squeaky pig things.
You're the best wrangler I've ever seen. But there's more out there.
Well, of course there is. There are. Grammar. Ooh. You. They look like overgrown naked mole rats. A little. Suppose I should get one and name it Rufus then.
You're the best wrangler I've ever seen. But there's more out there.
Not sure if I remember where the other ones are. surprised they haven't been snarking at each other.
You're the best wrangler I've ever seen. But there's more out there.
I'm sure there is.
Delighted.
Or meh.
I hope the Assembly picks a king soon.
From what I've heard of dwarven politics, I'm almost surprised we haven't seen blood running these streets.
Yet. Give it time, Liliana. It'll happen.
You have come at a difficult time. Orzammar is ailing for want of a king.
Raise your voice in support of Lord Harrowmont,
Really?
King of Orzammar and our future savior.
This has dragged on too long. It's an insult to King Endrin's memory.
That it is, regardless of which side you take.
I hope you'll support Lord Harrowmont.
No.
News of the hour. Does Lord Harrowmont think that Orzammar can hold off the dwarves forever?
You know, after all this is over, I wouldn't mind getting a job here. I could sing, tell stories, have the king get items from high shelves.
Oh, special snowflake. Assembly. Shepherd.
Thief! Who would dare take from the memories? Warden, I'm outraged. A thief in the Shapered. What have we been reduced to?
Well, you were already kinda runty.
I did. He was bald, with the most garish brand across his head. Almost like he took pride in being castless. Imagine. He's probably in the slums somewhere. As if he'd find a buyer for a stolen tome in Dust Town. They couldn't know the value.
Okay.
I'm quite busy. Please do not disturb me.
Fine.
Oh, pardon me. Were you looking for a particular volume? Not that I could really help. I, don't know the libraries very well. I'm just doing some research.
Uh-huh.
Not exactly, but... I'm looking for any birth records from the old Orton Tig. It fell in the last blight, and my mother's family claims to be related. If I'm an Orton, it means I'm noble. I'd have my own house, a seat in the assembly. Unfortunately, any records would be buried in the Tig's ruins, somewhere in the deep roads. You're from the surface. What do you know about fighting Darkspawn? There aren't even any expeditions planned until they settle this election. Otherwise, you need special permission from the Assembly, or some great lord. A Grey Warden? Mother always said that if anyone could find the Tig, it was the Wardens. I hear
Well,
Prince
I am
Balin
that
and Lord
good.
Harrowmont have both been sending out small teams these days. Yes, if you can find the Tig in any records, that could do it. That could prove I'm a noble. If you could. Maybe now that you're looking. It's almost too much to hope.
Let's see.
All right.
Just one book about politics, huh? I'm sure Leliana would like that book. Huh. What the? Huh. And stuff we can't wear. Book. Fine. Be fussy about which side of the damn table here. On delicious nugs. Whatever. Okay.
When I last walked this hall, Endrin was king and Orzammar was at peace. The
Well,
memories
as
often speak of
peaceful
the
as it
swiftness with
gets.
which change overtakes us. But it is different to see it firsthand. I apologize, Warden. I should not burden a stranger with such thoughts. I am Zebor, the Shaper of Memories. The Grey Warden's visit has been recorded in the memories, along with all who accompany you. That is an odd request, especially for one so new to our city. I thought so. This is not the first time he's made this plea. My answer to Brother Burkle hasn't changed. So I ask you the same. On what basis would you have me insult the ancestors and overturn 2,000 years of tradition? What sort of charities do you mean? Traditionally, that is their extended family's responsibility, but sometimes people fall through the cracks. Very well, he may hold a prayer meeting as he requested, if not build a new temple to his god. At least the words would come from one of our own. Now, is there anything more?
Yeah.
We were a great empire once, outnumbering even humans and elves. We traded with your Tevinter Imperium, and our land
It's
stretched
not
as far
my
in the deep
Tevinter
roads as theirs
Imperium.
did above. Kal Sharok was capital then, but we lost too many battles. We lost our golems, and we lost our territory. Now the Empire is simply ruined tunnels filled with
Well, I
darkspawn.
found one of those.
They were once our highways beneath the mountains. Now the darkspawn claim them and few venture there, except your order, who enter the deep roads when they retire, so they can die slaughtering as many darkspawn as possible.
There are worse way to go.
The
ways
Paragon
to go.
Caridin, a smith of unsurpassed genius, invented the golems.
Yeah, that's why I'm
For
here.
years they were our weapon against the darkspawn. One golem is worth
I
a
have
dozen
to deal with
dwarves in
him
battle.
before
But
I
Caridin's
get
tide
jail.
is far into the deep roads. When it fell, we lost his secret to creating golems. There are books about it along these walls if you would read more. They are to us what a colony is to surfacers. At the other side of the old empire, during the last blight, the kings of Orzammar knew they couldn't hold everything. They sealed the deep roads, abandoning everyone still trapped in far-flung settlements. It was the only way to survive. Kal Sharok is the only other city to outlast the blight. We only rediscovered them recently, and they still haven't forgiven us. The Paragon Caridin, a smith of unsurpassed genius, invented the golems. For one golem is when it fell, we lost his secret to creating golems. I will settle your mind if I can, Warden. All dwarves who die return to the stone as ancestors, to guide their families forever. But only one every few generations rises to Paragon. A Paragon is a dwarf whose accomplishments change Orzammar so much that the Assembly recognizes they've been born blessed. They are venerated as living ancestors and found a new noble house forever bearing their name. There is one Paragon of this generation, a woman named Branka. She was
Crazy
born a
bitch
smith,
that she is.
but her inventions caught the Assembly's eye. Before she had seen 20 years, she created a smokeless coal. It could burn in a cave without vents and no one would choke from it. It earned her Paragon status. She went into the deep roads 2 years ago seeking out secrets of the ancient smiths. She never returned. Your presence here has been recorded in the memories. I wish I knew what significance it has.
Mixed tidings? Yeah. So, guess I get to go cast trouble somewhere else now. Well, I can go talk to him again.
Delighted.
You were on
Warden,
my list.
welcome. It is always a blessing for Orzammar to host your order. I am Vartak Gavorn, top advisor to our good Prince Balin. What news do you bring? It would be hard not to notice the Grey Warden and his eclectic entourage.
Well, there
I hear
is
you
that.
seek the aid of Orzammar's finest. Yes, the treaty. I've seen it in the Shaper's libraries. Now, the difficulty is that the treaty only compels our king, and we are sadly lacking one of those right now. No one wishes this fight over more than Balin. But while it rages, Orzammar can spare no one to combat what may or may not be a new blight.
Oh, it is.
I believe you. But what are we to do? If Balin followed his heart and sent his men to aid you, Harrowmont would steal his throne.
Yeah, you
We
and your
would defeat the
sketchy-ass
Blight
politics.
and return to find our homeland devastated by an incompetent tyrant.
Unfortunately true. Harrowmont is bad for the future of Orzammar.
There might be a way. If you demonstrate to Balin that you owe Harrowmont no fealty. Harrowmont has engaged in a campaign of bribery and coercion to ensure that every house serves him. But if a neutral party, a stranger, were to approach certain key members, perhaps with irrefutable evidence of Harrowmont's deception, I'm certain my Lord Prince would show his gratitude. Harrowmont promised the same portion of his estate to two different Deshers, Lady Dace and Lord Helmy. Harrowmont can't possibly grant it to both of them, but they won't find out until after the vote is cast. I have copies of the promissory notes Harrowmont gave each of them. Once they see those, they should both reconsider their votes. Lady Dace doesn't leave the quarter much, but Lord Helmy's adventurous, likes to spend his time at Tapster's in the Commons. Remember,
Oh, right, I didn't go
don't
in
tell
there
him you
yet.
got these papers from me. You learned of them and drew your own conclusions.
Right. Uh-huh.
The assembly is in session. Enter quietly if you wish to observe.
Tell that to Alistair's armor.
Your mind has gone to dust if you think we would pass such a writ. Half our houses would go broke without the service trade.
The proposal is only effective until we have a king to ensure we are respected by the surfacers.
Leaving you conveniently positioned to take over all contracts. I'll see your head on a pike first.
Deshers, lords and ladies of the assembly. I've
Your
already
petty
doubled the
squabbles
guard
are
to
why
prevent
you're not
violence.
respected.
Must I summon more?
Steward Bandalore, Balin's sympathizers are tying our hands with trivialities. They may as well open us to the sky.
I suggest we put the matter to a vote.
And I suggest you have a taste of my family's mace.
Enough! The Assembly is in recess until the members can regain control of their emotions.
There is no emotion, there is peace. Not in Orzammar.
Stone-forsaken fools and dusters. I'm sorry. This is the Assembly of the Clans. Only dashers and occasional guests of state are allowed in. Oh, Stone. You must be the Grey Warden. I completely forgot about the Gate Guard's message. Welcome to Orzammar, Warden. I hope you can forgive our unrest. The loss of our king has hit us hard. Respect for your role is great, but you won't receive a proper hearing until we have a king on the throne.
So I've heard.
I must admit, Warden, I am at a loss myself. It lies with Prince Balin or Lord Harrowmont, and they are slow to trust anyone in these uncertain times. I only wish there was more I could do for you.
Yeah. Alright. Oh. Just in case you have anything else useful to say.
Warden, I'm afraid the Assembly is still locked in debate. What can I do for you? At this point, they're stone for stone. I wouldn't put any coin on the outcome. It's still up in the air, though. One big surprise, and it could go either way.
That's my intent.
Warden, I'm afraid the Assembly is still locked in debate. What can I do for it? Only members of the noblest houses are eligible. Those who claim a Desha, General, or Paragon among their ancestors. As steward, I am a non-voting member. I'm not permitted to voice opinions about the vote. Although I am forming some about our members.
Yeah. Good luck
Not
with
until
that.
something forces their hands, I'm afraid. Only Balin or Harrowmont can settle this.
Alright. Get out of the way. Alright.
I heard there was a Grey Warden here. I am Dulin Forrender, second to Lord Harrowmont, King Endrin's own choice as successor. Word is spreading that the surface may suffer a blight. It is shameful we are not in a better position to help.
I do agree.
That may be, and that is a terrible risk for the surface. But even if the world would end tomorrow, Lord Harrowmont cannot ignore Balin today. He cannot afford to trust anyone of unproven loyalties.
Meh.
You're asking the King of Orzammar to send armies to the surface, but Orzammar has no king and we have no army. Right now, the men who should be fighting Darkspawn are brawling in the street. If this situation is not resolved, we face civil war. If you want Lord Harrowmont's time now, you'll have to prove you have no intention of turning against him later. If you wish to show you have no loyalty to Balin, then work against him in Harrowmont's name. Balin is hosting a proving today, supposedly to honor his father's memory. The Deshers take it very seriously, and unfortunately, Balin found some way to blackmail or intimidate House Harrowmont's best fighters into stepping down. The proving is a contest of the best warriors in Orzammar. By fighting, they show who has the ancestors' favor. If you were to enter the proving as Lord Harrowmont's champion, it would prove your loyalty beyond a doubt. Balin would never work with anyone who humiliated him in that way. Harrowmont would have no fear of meeting with you then. Then I'm afraid your only choice is to wait until there's a winner. Lord Harrowmont cannot risk his life working with someone of unproven loyalties. If you change your mind, let me know. The proving is this afternoon, and Lord Harrowmont could certainly use you on his side.
Both sides need me on their side. But no. Is there anything in here I can actually do? Guards and nobles. A door I can't unlock. Doors I can open. Huh.
Couldn't we all
Interesting.
get along? No?
Get them!
Well, hell with you. You're doing fine, and you could be more helpful. You need to get back up. Punish the
I shall do it.
All right.
Right then.
Glorious again.
What's going on? By the ancestors.
Good on you, Warden. You caught them in the act. I guess desperate
All
times
right.
drive people to strange things.
Yeah. Oh well. But, fine.
All right. Of course.
Yep. Alright, let's start with you. It's not gonna matter enough, but
I am your... Yes, stop the bleeding! Rock me and hey!
God damn it. What? Okay, so it only looks like you're not wielding both. Still troublesome. Yeah, that's a problem. Not that you're damaged.
Yes.
Come, let's get some blood.
Too easy.
Well, we survived that fight. Now we gotta fix them. Oh. That'll be good when I get Shale and she's actually strong enough.
Alistair here.
Yeah, no, I hadn't noticed.
Very well. Of course.
Well, stone isn't necessarily any less bloody than iron.
Lord Balin's impending marriage to a castless proves his dedication.
Alright, Lady Dace. Oh, I actually have something worth saying to you.
What do you want? Ah, I suppose you're the Grey Warden everyone's talking about. An interesting accusation. But to cheat me, wouldn't Harrowmont and I need to be in business? That's ridiculous. Harrowmont would never make so obvious a mistake. What evidence do you have? Well, this isn't exactly a surface broadsheet. Where did you get these? Never mind. It is true enough, but there's nothing I can do about it. This deal was made on behalf of our entire house. Only my father can revoke it. He is leading a Deep Roads expedition, trying to secure an ancient thaig. It's unlikely he'll be back before the election, but perhaps this vote is important enough for you to brave the tunnels to tell him? The Dace family would be in your debt. He was searching an old Idukan site. He left me with this map, in case his expedition never returned. I'll give you a pass as well. Usually, no one is allowed past the front lines. Does that mean you'll go? So Balin's victory means enough for you to risk your life. How interesting.
Somebody winning matters. The short term, for my purposes.
Of the hour.
Which one?
Lord
does?
Balin promises radical changes that will affect
2 years tomorrow. By all the holy sodding ancestors, how can you people just ignore that?
Branka didn't go alone, Ogren. She took the whole house, everybody but you. So just get over to Tapster's and drown yourself already. You know as well as I do that's how this always ends.
You think I'm afraid of some cub warrior who's barely off the teach? Ha! I'll...
You lift a weapon or attack a single citizen in Orzammar, and you're stripped of your caste and exiled. Even you can't have forgotten that. Get out of here before I call a guardsman.
Such a charmer,
Can you
that
believe
one.
it? Ogren's barely even warrior caste anymore, and he just clomps in here like he's entitled. Ogren's a drunken wretch. He comes up here 2-3 times a week, hounding people to lead some suicidal rescue mission after Branka. Gets quite violent about it. I'd be scared if they hadn't practically gelded him after he killed young Lord Mino. Well, he killed Lord Mino's youngest son in a duel to first blood. It was a huge scandal. Ogren should have been executed, but he'd won honors in the deep roads. Instead, they stripped him of all weapons and forbid him from engaging in fights within city limits. If he breaks the decree, he'll be exiled. She's still his wife, isn't she? Even if she took their entire house into the deep roads and abandoned him. Well, before she was a paragon, she was just a smith. And Ogren was one of the best warriors of his generation. Chasing some old treasure, she was quite secretive. Outright rude, really. Said she never asked to found a
just
house,
as much
that
of
she
a
didn't
charmer.
care about politics, and that we were too self-absorbed to defeat the Darkspawn.
Well,
She actually
that is true.
threatened anyone who said they'd come after her. She invented a smokeless fuel that let the Smith caste increase their output by nearly 1/3. Deaths from the Black Lung also dropped. The Assembly said she had the favor of the ancestors and declared her a paragon. They moved Branka, Ogren, and all their relatives to the noble caste and founded a new house in her name. It's been 2 years since Branka left. No one has ever stayed in the deep roads that long and survived.
Oh, but she
The
has.
search teams who went out found nothing, but Ogren wants to keep risking lives searching. She's still his wife, isn't she? Even if she took their entire... It's been 2 years since... The search teams who went out found nothing, but if you see any guardsmen, tell them Ogren was at it again.
Meh. I have to go down there at some point.